Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating, almost hidden world. We're looking at the microscopic threats that can take down a massive, incredibly powerful electric vehicle motor, and more importantly, how brilliant engineers build multi-layered defenses against them. It's a story of extreme physics, rapid-fire software, and precision hardware. Let's get right into it.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The cascading failure mechanism. 2. Real-time smart diagnostics. 3. Fail-safe architecture and fallbacks. 4. Upgrading hardware design. 5. Precision manufacturing controls. And 6. Extreme validation testing.
Section 1. The cascading failure mechanism.
To really fix a problem, you first have to understand the physical disease that's destroying the motor from the inside out, right? And it all starts with this invisible threat, high-frequency electrical stress sparking a massive domino effect. 10 kilovolts per microsecond? That is incredibly fast and absolutely wild. When the EV's inverter does its high-frequency switching to pulse power to the motor, it doesn't just send a clean signal. It creates these violent voltage change rates up to 10 kilovolts per microsecond. Literally, this is the match that lights the fire.
Now, all that extreme energy, it's got to go somewhere. It sneaks through parasitic capacitance between the stator and the rotor, building up what engineers call a common mode shaft voltage. We're talking 70 to 370 volts sitting right there on the spinning motor shaft itself. The shaft is basically electrically charged, just desperately looking for a way to ground itself.
And this leads us to a highly destructive process known as electrical discharge machining, or EDM. So that accumulated 370 volts eventually punches straight through the thin protective oil film inside the motor's bearings. When it breaks through, bam, it acts like a microscopic lightning strike. These tiny high-energy sparks blast microscopic craters right into the bearing metal. Give it some time and this creates a washboard-like pattern called fluting. It totally ruins the bearing, burns up the grease, and causes some really severe mechanical vibration. The motor is literally eating itself alive.
That initiates a pretty brutal three-step cascade. Step 1, of course, is that EDM bearing erosion we just talked about. But it gets worse. Step 2, the chewed-up bearing makes the whole rotor physically wobble. It shifts off center by more than 0.05 millimeters. Engineers call this dynamic eccentricity, and it shakes the entire system. Finally, step 3. All that violent, high-frequency vibration travels straight down the wires to the low-voltage connectors, kicking off something called fretting wear.
To really picture fretting wear, you have to think on a microscopic scale, just 1 to 200 microns. Because of that intense vibration from the wobbling rotor, the male and female connector terminals start rubbing against each other in these rapid micromotions. We're talking movements as tiny as a single micron. But this relentless microscopic scraping is actually enough to completely strip the protective tin coatings right off the terminals, leaving the raw copper underneath totally exposed to the elements.
Once that raw copper is out in the open, oxygen and moisture sneak right in. The copper oxidizes, debris builds up, and suddenly, the electrical contact resistance absolutely spikes. It jumps from less than 5 milliohms to way over 100 milliohms, sometimes even hitting full ohms. For a system that relies on flawless data to govern a massive vehicle flying down the highway, this resistance spike causes critical, microsecond signal drops. The motor's sensors essentially start blacking out.
Section 2. Real-time smart diagnostics.
All right, so the physical hardware is failing and the signals are dropping. Now let's dive into the software immune response. It's programmed to catch these microscopic changes in real time, way before a total breakdown occurs. It's incredibly sophisticated. The system constantly runs a fast Fourier transform, or FFT, on the sensor's excitation current. It's actively on the hunt for total harmonic distortion. Basically, the computer can actually feel the air gap changing as the rotor wobbles off center. By monitoring the distortion in the current, the system spots the mechanical wobble and throws a predictive maintenance warning long before you, the driver, ever feel a vibration, and well before the signal drops.
And if things start getting worse, the system pulls off what I think is a stroke of absolute genius, a continuous plausibility check. The computer compares 3 totally independent sources of speed data. It looks at the physical RDC hardware sensor on the motor, a software-based back EMF estimate called the SMO, and the actual physical wheel speed coming straight from the car's network. If that physical hardware sensor suddenly jumps wildly, thanks to that fretting wear we covered, but the software estimate and wheel speed stay perfectly rock steady, the computer instantly knows the physical sensor is lying to it. It diagnoses a hardware failure in actual milliseconds.
Section 3. Fail-safe architecture and fallbacks.
But what if a signal drops out completely while you're cruising at highway speeds? Well, the vehicle's ACLD safety system, which, by the way, is the highest automotive hazard classification, kicks into a frantic, high-stakes race against the clock. At 0 milliseconds, critical signal loss is detected. The motor is flying blind. By 1.5 milliseconds, phase 1 activates, triggering a two-phase short circuit that carefully avoids a massive destructive surge of current. And then, in just 60 milliseconds maximum, phase 2 finishes up. The system drops into a three-phase active short circuit, safely killing the motor torque and keeping that dangerous surging DC bus voltage clamped tight below 720 volts. It literally catches a failing motor and disarms it safely in fractions of a second. Incredible.
Section 4. Upgrading hardware design.
Now, software fallbacks and smart diagnostics are fantastic for safety, but they're a reaction. How do we redesign the actual hardware to act as a vaccine and just stop the cascade from ever starting? To beat fretting wear for good, engineers did a radical upgrade on the connector hardware. They ditched the cheap, easily scratched tin plating and swapped it for heavy-duty beryllium copper, coating it in a thick layer of self-lubricating soft gold. Instead of just one single contact point, they brought in hyperboloid pins with 10 to 20 parallel contact points. So if one micro moves, 19 others are still carrying the signal. And the real game changer? To stop those EDM bearing sparks, they added dedicated shaft grounding rings. These rings safely brush against the shaft, taking that 370-volt charge and draining it right into the casing before it ever touches the bearing oil.
Section 5. Precision Manufacturing Controls.
Of course, you can't just design these advanced parts on a screen, you've got to manufacture them flawlessly. To stop early wear and tear, human error has to be completely stripped from the assembly line. Manual assembly is strictly banned for these critical parts. Instead, automated concentric servo presses install the bearings, watching the insertion force and displacement in real time to catch even the tiniest misalignment. And every single rotor gets 100% dynamic balancing to an ultra-precise G2.5 grade, ensuring absolutely zero mechanical resonance at high speeds. Finally, robots inject a highly specialized oxygen-blocking grease called Niogel right into the connectors. Honestly, this is the coolest part. The grease has a UV fluorescent tracer in it, so automated cameras can visually guarantee a perfect weatherproof seal on every single part that comes off the line.
Section 6. Extreme validation testing.
So we've got the ultimate design and the ultimate manufacturing process. But before these motors see a single mile of real road, they go through an absolute gauntlet. You really grasp how brutal this testing phase is when you look at the conditions. These motors have to survive over 500 hours of simultaneous extreme random vibration and thermal shock, whipping from -40 to positive 150 degrees Celsius, with almost zero rise in electrical resistance. Then they get hammered with 1,000 hours of that 10 kilovolt per microsecond high voltage stress at high temps, just to prove they can make it without a single microcrater of bearing fluting. Lastly, on the hardware and the loop test bench, engineers literally inject critical faults on purpose while the motor is screaming at 12,000 RPM. They do this to prove the safety system still catches the fault within that tiny 60 millisecond window.
It's just a massive triumph of modern engineering. We've mapped out the exact microscopic domino effect that destroys motors, and we've built the defenses to totally neutralize it. But you know, it really leaves us wondering. As EV architectures push to 800 volts, 1,000 volts, and beyond, that electrical stress is only going to multiply. So how will our diagnostic algorithms have to evolve? What new invisible threats are we going to have to conquer next? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the science behind the machines.